Hello. What's What's Sure am glad Windows popped up some very loud notification that I don't know what it was. Was the LLVM bug fixed earlier today? Yeah, I fixed it this afternoon. It was not even actually a threading problem, really. It was just a dumb bug. I just made a loop that reran the compiler over and over and would sleep once it found the assert. And then I just attached to the process. And a few iterations of that made it real obvious what the problem was. Turn on my firewall. Yep. What's the plan? I think the plan is just to go through the to-do list and do some more small style improvements. Nothing too drastic, but just, cut down on the number of things there are to do. I don't remember what this one is, so let's look up that one. Canonicalize to headers to make comparison easier. Okay. If the identifier. Okay, where even are we? What are we even talking about here? We're figuring out the type of an identifier. So I believe this is probably really old code that used to make sense that doesn't make sense anymore, so we can delete it. That's my hope. So if we resolve, so first of all, this decal belong is not used yet. We could move that down, right? Was that even used after this? Doesn't look like it. So we only need this one here. Not that that's any kind of code deletion, but we're just a little bit of hygiene there. Hygiene. Oh, this is our resolving outer. Oh. Oh. So this is all for deciding if we're trying to use an identifier that would require a closure. Maybe the thing to do is just refactor it a little bit. I don't really know if this can really be simplified. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, this happens for a lot of identifiers. Every identifier inside a Lambda, which is probably the vast majority in a program, go through this. So if we can simplify this a little bit, that's good, but I don't really see a way to do it. Oh, well, we can test. Okay. We can rearrange this a little bit to at least put the complexity further down and probably do a little bit less computation, because here we're dereferencing, we're reading through this memory and going to the next pointer, even if we don't need to, but then most of the time this is going to be the Lambda we're in, so maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I just want to maybe refactor it a little bit. Tell me what. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say all sorts of stuff. Okay. First, let's make a shorter name. Okay. Now, if we're going to say, so this is a bunch of ifs chained in a row, so it's essentially an and of all these conditions. So when it's an and of all these conditions, you can commute them with each other, and the logical result is the same, right? So as soon as we compute decl belong, we're going to say if I don't want to be too confusing about redundantly checking things. Okay. Okay, we're going to delete this belongs to struct, I think, today as well. But how about I don't know which way. There's so many ands here. Okay, a lot of this we can check. So this constants thing we can check way early. And like, why am I? Okay, hold on. Let's undo all this. We're gonna do one thing at a time. One simplification at a time. So let's assert that it doesn't belong to struct. Right? Because I don't believe that this is possible. In fact, I think we put that way up there. Boom. Okay. How many times do I have to set that, dude? I always have that set. Why does it clear it? I don't know. Fucking Visual Studio. I installed like Windows subsystem for Linux or something, so it resets all my settings. Because Microsoft doesn't care about programmers. I don't even know where this is because I only set it like once every 6 months. Text editor. General. I don't know. I don't know where this is. Reload. Load. Documents. What? Whatever, man. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so we're gonna compile this with the debug build. Okay, the assert went off. That's interesting. It really shouldn't. So let's fix that. Because given the current length, oh, let's get rid of all our breakpoints. Given the, look at all our breakpoints we did today. It was crazy. Okay. Oh wait, that's not even an assert. Wait, didn't I replace? Dude, this editor is AIDS. Oh no, I undid everything. That's right. That's me who undid that. Let's go put the short name back in. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So I guess it was the assert. Wait, do we have a control M in our file? Yep. So it was displaying us a line off. So we have to recompile. Yeah, you guys who are all excited about Windows Subsystem for Linux don't understand Microsoft, right? The reason they did that is so that they can kill Linux, okay? Like, that's always how Microsoft has operated. You guys know it's called embrace, extend, and extinguish, right? This is the embrace part. That's step 1. Step 2 is when Microsoft's WSL installations have new stuff that doesn't work on other distros. That is step 2. MS fails hard recently? What are you talking about? They're making more money than ever. Did you see their earnings report? They're making shitloads of money. They have failed at a lot of things. They failed in mobile. They failed in gaming. But their internet services is huge. It is like a hostage situation, sort of. Okay, so let's look at where this is. Line 274 of Windows Resources. Oh. Okay, it's in a struct that is locally declared inside a procedure. I don't think... So the struct itself is marked belongs to procedure. And we did that, I think, way back when we weren't really sure how we were going to use these things. But at this point, I don't think it makes sense. I think you either belongs to struct or belongs to Lambda, but not both. So can't import struct things. Child new block. Parse struct. Description. Okay. That assertion is no longer going off. Well, that's release build. Let's do debug build. Make sure we still run. Okay. Now. I just blanked on the entirety of what I'm doing. So the reason we were doing this is because we were back at this identifier check that I don't even remember where it is. There. So 5517. Okay. So we got our assertion that we don't belong to struct. That's fine. Like if we live in the constants block, like I think this is redundant completely. Because this is what matters. Let's do a release build with that and run tests. So again, you know, a lot of these conditions were put in over time when the system was not so decided on. And like now, we sort of know, whoops, sort of know what we're doing. What's the windmill puzzle I have open? It's one that someone linked the other day that I've just had open and not really done it. Okay. Well, like let's put these together because we're talking about that same variable, right? And then let's put this up there because it's about the identifier. Okay. By the time we get down in here, this is still true for a lot of variables, though. This is true for everything in our same procedure. Yeah. Well, for things that aren't, we at least move the constant up. I don't know, we could insert some more checks to try to early out and be faster before we access more memory, but this isn't going to be that expensive most of the time. I think I'm going to be happy with this refactoring. seems reasonable. So we didn't really remove anything so much as do just a light little touch up. Oh, and I also had that. We deleted that. Okay. Okay. Didn't the test fail? Yeah, but it failed for a reason that we know, then we're not working on. It's this same old thing. We don't care about that. I mean, we do. I'm just choosing not to work on it right now. Ah, it happened again. No, it was so not happening for a long time. You know, again, it's just one of those things where you can only work on so many things at once. So, yeah, maybe we should try to investigate that now. I don't know what is the best way. We could do a thing where we run the tests in debug builds. Yeah, we can do a thing like I did for the other bug. Where we run the tests in a debug build. It's just unclear. Yeah, we could do that. Please fix it on the stream. Yeah, well, we can. So the thing is, this bug could be one of two things. It could be a compiler bug, or it could just be a user level bug in the meta program that's running that stuff. We've only ever seen that happen in run tests. So it's quite possible that the test program is just doing something bad, but maybe not. Maybe it's real. And you know what? We should figure it out either way. So let's do that. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's finally time to do that. Yeah, this other stuff probably isn't that important. I mean, this one, we hang when we launch from the debugger sometimes. I don't know if that means we may hang. So somebody said use coinit multi-threaded, which, like, I'm not sure why that would matter the way we're using it, but I just want to read the documentation on this. But let's try to look for the Heisenbug. This could take all night and still be unsuccessful. Okay, so we're seeing it in run. Did I commit? Let's commit. Now that seems like a slight simplification only, but we did delete that. We actually modified that thing about belonging in a lambda or a struct at the same time. That's a good simplification. And anytime you can do something like that, like again, your program, how hard it is to deal with is just a function of the amount of complexity. And complexity sort of grows at a rate higher than n. It's not quite n squared, but it's between n and n squared with like the number of weird things going on in your program. So anytime you can minimize it, even a little bit, you get more than a linear benefit from that, right? Which is why, that's why I try to take time and hit things like this and make them a little more reasonable, even though what I did there doesn't seem that important. It was not negligible. If you never do that kind of thing, then you're just going to hit a complexity ceiling before too long. But of course, we've also done much bigger examples of that kind of thing on the stream, so I shouldn't beat a dead horse. I shouldn't feed a fed horse about this. Dude, Sure, people, all the people who are interested in WebAssembly can do that. We do not care. Yeah, so here, what I did today is I just made this simple, I looked on the web about how you make a little Microsoft batch file that runs things in a loop. And I just did that. And I just ran the compiler on Sokoban. And then I put a special thing in there that would sleep in a loop. So we can do the same thing for run tests. So let's look. When's the last time it happened? Like it might be off the scroll back even. So much stuff comes out. Yeah, whatever. Scroll back in this program is so weak ass. I don't know how to. I feel like at one time, history. I don't know, man. Fuck it. Okay. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to unable to load. I don't remember what the error message was, but it was something like unable to load. Unable to open file, whatever, for reading. I think it was this one. Right? Right? Okay. So here we're just going to say, we're going to hope we can reproduce this many times. So here we're just going to say, while one print, we found it. OS sleep for 5 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, so we're just going to print we found it over and over. And we're going to run this in debug. And then I've been running this printf, people, printf. So I've been running this in this run tests. And I'm just going to temporarily modify this to run the debug compiler. On all this stuff. And we're going to hope that it pops up. And I don't know, maybe one of them is failing due to a legit cannot open, or legit that's an actual error. So we'll find that out. But all right. So the reason we're going to loop like that is because then we can attach in the debugger. Man, the debug build. I kind of want to profile the debug compiler a little bit, because there's probably just a small number of asserts that are causing all the slowness. And just when you start doing stuff like this, having the debug compiler go faster is better. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll give it a few minutes. If we ain't caught it in a few minutes. Was there a console buffer height in size and position? Oh, we asserted. Whoa, that's a different We actually have to investigate this assert. First of all, because it's stopping us from running our test. But secondly, it might also be a crash for some people. Settings, size and position. Console buffer height. What? Why is that in size and position? That has nothing to do. All right. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, so what were we running here? We have to debug this. Sorry. Oh, this is Snake. Snake. Okay. Let's see if it asserts with no jobs. We're not running with no jobs there, but I feel like it may assert with no job. Nope. Nope. All right. We have another problem. We may just have to do Snake over and over. That bothers me. Wait, did the batch file stop on assert? How do you make a batch file not stop? Oh, the or exit. Yeah. So I'm a little worried about that Snake action. But since it's not happening 100% of the time, let's run our tests again, and we'll see which problem is happening the most. And we'll debug that. You did not see DirectX demo. We have one somewhere. I don't know if it's run as part of these tests or not, but we do have a DirectX example. Yeah, I don't love either of them. It's true. Well, now we're not having either problem. Does Invader still compile? Yeah, that's in this set of tests, right? If you look in run tests, Invaders is right there. It's right there. Wait, why did we exit? Oh, we're not on. Yeah, we have to loop. actually, let's put in our loop just that. Let's profile the debug compiler, because I want to frickin' know where all the time is going. Oh no. Got to run it from the right folder, I guess. Okay. Okay, someone broke some things. The particles are not rendering correctly anymore. The aliens are not the right size, but we changed all the libraries around, so it's not that surprising. But it still runs. I'll have to go back at some point and figure out what's going on. Itch.io. That is a totally itch.io game right there. Itch.io. Home of quality. Okay. What am I doing? I kind of want a telemetry build. How do we decide? Let me just turn on telemetry. I don't want to have to mess with the config file, but we're just going to take that out. So all builds right now are telemetry builds. All right. All right. We're going to run the debug build with LLVM and going to see what takes all the damn time. There's no telemetry API. Let's actually not make it telemetry, or not make it LLVM. Let's make it x64. Okay. What is taking all the time in debug builds? Well, this is all just waiting. Infer types. Polymorph is real slow. Why? 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 Is it really? Let's find or add. Takes 0.7 seconds. Deep polymorph, 0.6. Messenger export, 0.5. Get it right. I don't see any debug code in there. Array add doesn't have anything. What's making it so much slower? Maybe just lack of inlining. Oh, maybe this. No. Reinterpret cast? I don't know. Well, really not sure. I know there's special code for bytecode builder in debug, but I don't even see that. Like, that's maybe taking a little bit of time, but it's not that much compared to. Maybe just our options on debug build are heinous. I mean, we have security check turned on. That could be bad, but... Oh, floating point precise? Screw that. You don't want that to behave differently. Aside from that, that's not really going to change the speed by much, I don't think. We're not doing a whole lot of floating point in the compiler. Oh, you know what it is? It's the stupid Visual Studio debug heap that's so damn slow. That's what it is. There's an environment variable that you set to turn that off. How to disable Visual Studio debug heap. Every time I install a new computer, I need to figure out how to do this, right? How to disable it. Launch the process outside the debugger. Oh, well, that doesn't matter because we're launching it outside the debugger and it's still slow. God, noob programmers. Noobs! You're doing it wrong if you think your compiler is slow when you're in the debugger. Noobs. Noobs with attitudes. All right. I don't really know what's making it slow except everything everywhere. I don't see an obvious thing to optimize. I mean, this would be it. But like, I just don't know why it's that slow. I don't want to start getting into machine language debugging. I mean, I don't think these two asserts are going to matter enough. They don't. Does get extra data have something? No. I guess it's this. This is the only thing that is not totally trivial. Try force inline. Nah. It's not that many calls is the thing. I mean, it's not no calls, but 28,000. That's way less than some of these things, right? So the overhead's in the function. Well, I mean, it could be all these array adds, I guess. One, two array adds. I don't know. We're just going to suffer through it. You know, I was hoping I would see something good. I didn't. Sorry. Visual Studio just generates real slow debug code. That's all it is. We could maybe risk it and do a release with symbols build. It's just, I'm not hyped about that often. Could put the function into godbolt.org and see the output for MSVC. Well, except all those array adds and all those things, I would also have to put those in. And by the time I did that, it would be a lot of things. Dude, it happened on Snake again. Does it happen every time on Snake here? Let me copy this, because if we get it consistently on Snake, fucking let me copy. Dude, why are shells so bad at... I don't understand how you can make a shell and have it be so bad at that. Like, dude, I was able to do that in frickin' TC in 1990. Assholes. It's like everybody just does all these things that don't matter and that make things worse, and when... It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Actually, I guess it was an Xterm, right? It would have been Xterm that enabled you to do that. not the shell itself. TC's running an Xterm in 1990. I could do that. Oh, I saw the awesomest thing. I don't know why I still go to Hacker News, but I saw the awesomest thing on Hacker News. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here's a good one. Hacker News story of the day. Fully static, unprivileged, self-contained containers as executable binaries. Whoever thought of such a thing? Wow, what a great idea. They could be even run by an unprivileged user. Wow, it's almost like it's 1960, except it's way more complicated and will never work as well as things worked in the 1960s. Oh my God. You're banned from Hacker News? What did you say to get banned? Shell and Electron. That literally sounds like a binary. Oh, but it's a very, very, very complicated way to make a binary. And that's what makes it web scale. What did I want Commander to do? I wanted it that if I'm scrolled back and trying to select things, then don't scroll it up. Keep my place. Like, see, if I'm scrolled back, I'm trying to read something or trying to do something. So when new things get added to the console, don't scroll what I'm trying to read up. Like, good turn. Oh, now, like, I tried to scroll down and then there was some race condition and it popped me back up. It's just such a garbage. Oh my God. But it's got git commands or whatever. Like, Jesus, guys. You bet there is a setting for that. Then turn it on by default, please. Turn it on. Terminal on the Mac works correctly with regards to scrolling. Good for the Mac. One thing they did right. Good for the Mac. So we haven't had this other problem yet. Do we know that it happens in debug build at all? Maybe I didn't loop correctly and we did have it and I didn't. I remember typing the while one. Let's see if we hit snake again. Invaders. Dude, snake happens every time, so we might have to debug that one. Or close enough to every time. I don't know why it didn't happen when we ran it. And like, did we run it with no jobs? Maybe it's no jobs versus jobs. But I thought we ran it with jobs. So if we go debug, snake first. Okay. When we run with jobs, it seems to happen a lot. So maybe we'll just debug that. Oh, now it's like... when it doesn't assert, it just compiles and takes a long time. Thanks, car alarm, for going off out there. Okay, well, maybe we just put snake in a loop and try to debug that. Maybe we'll try it by hand with randomize a few times. So this is line 4257 of bytecode builder. See, this definitely looks like another constant or another overloading problem, but I'm not sure. It could be unrelated. Smart Money says it's related to the one that I fixed today. All right. Let's do that here. Let's go. Where's our while one? Wait, where did we put the other thing? What were we even trying to track? Oh, the thing about can't open file. That was in interp, wasn't it? We found it. Okay, so here we're going to go if this is not true, okay, so we're going to do that. And we're going to just keep running snake. And we'll see what happens. Already? Wait, what? Did I screw up my thing or did it just happen? I guess we got it. First try. We didn't need to loop, dude. Okay, so we're just looping. So now we just go set a breakpoint here. Well, we go to, oh God, it's going to tell me I'm not privileged. Okay, look, people tell me that I have white privilege or something, but then I try to run Visual Studio and I try to attach to a process. And it says this task requires the application to have elevated permissions. So my privilege was not elevated enough. All right. Now we attach to the process. You're expected to either press pause to pause the program while you scroll, or win and a lock button to copy the entire buffer temporarily and only display that. That's really bad. Okay, so what's going on? What is going on? BC debug expression. Procedure call, no surprise. It is line 43 of any. Line 43, free, okay. Right, so why are you freeing? Who is doing that? All right. So we're calling free. And, well, we're calling we're trying to call some version of free that has two arguments, which is a problem. That is not right. We're trying to call one that's at line 106 of basic, which is going to be the typed free or whatever. Yeah. Oh, no. No, it's fine, actually. It merely has a default argument. We're calling the correct free, I think. So what happened to our default argument? Our call status? Oh my God, we had like 7 overloads. 1 match. This one. Best argument list 1. That's bad news. When we were testing the overloads, we should have generated the second argument. And we didn't. Or we did and then we messed it up later. Not sure which. But this only happens sometimes, which is weird. I want to see if we can make this happen with a randomize. And I also want to see if we can catch it sooner back in the type checker. It looks a lot like the thing that I fixed today. But it's not, it's a little different. I guess I took out the assert there. Okay, well, we're going to put it back. Bringing it back. Okay. So if resolved get inferred type of resolved lambda argument declarations dot items is not equal to I guess the best matches. Right. Oh, that gets done way up there. Status best argument list. So now this is going to tell us something. So if we are able to catch this, then the problem happens before this point when we're computing this value. Otherwise, it's getting corrupted in some way later, right? So we want to know which of those is happening. Okay. Oh. Stop. It happened right away. And we hit the first one. Okay. Wow, it's happening really often on this one. That is fortunate for us. I mean, we wish it didn't happen at all, but okay. All right, so now we can get an even earlier check. Last time when I did an earlier check and put it way up here, it wasn't going off, and that helped me understand what the hell was going on. Okay, so when we say best argument list, what's it called? Polymorphed lambda. So we don't want that, because that is a case in which okay, wait. I'm not completely sure that my other check was right. So let's attach to it in the debugger and make sure it's for the same call. I'm not totally convinced that I didn't mess that up. Attach to process. Gee, so there's all these costs to having a machine with 1 billion processes running it on it all the time. And one of those is just that your machine is really slow. But there's all these other costs, like every frickin' time I want to attach to something, I have to scroll through this list, and the UI they give me is like 10 high, as if I was running on Windows 95 or 91. All right. All right. So I feel like I probably messed it up. Resolved. Oh, matches. Let's look at matches 0. It is not polymorphed. All right, well, maybe this is fine. It's just, it really legit. Yeah, it is for free. It's for free. It is happening a lot. Okay. I dig it. Get inferred type. overload? Call procedure expression. Come on, terminate the batch job. How many cores will average gaming PC have by 2020? Early snake get worm. Boy, it's happening all the time now. That's weird. I feel like I mess it up. I don't know, not that many more than today. You know, like right now I've got 6 physical cores. I would say 6 or 8 would be common by then. Okay. Is this legit? Like, I feel like I must be messing it up. Yeah, this is a different place. This is line 858 of print. Is digit. What? What are you talking about? What is even 1? Why do I even try to use this? Oh, this has a that. All right. Call, procedure expression, inferred type, lambda argument declarations. 0. What is going on? How? Okay, inferred type, type of lambda. What? Oh, it's an overload set. We can't do this, right? We can't do this. This is not the right formulation. This has to be matches sub-0 dot something. Because we have to use the procedure we get back. We have to use... Well, where do we get resolved from? Down here. Call status resolved overload. No, we haven't set that yet. Constant. Yeah. Okay. So much work we're going through here. Decal. Okay, let's try that. Stop. First compilation went. Second compilation went. Third compilation went. So this computer that I have right now, I think is 6 cores. Okay. This is information here. So we didn't hit this, but we did hit this. Okay. Which is a lot like what happened last time. So one or the other of these variables changed. Okay? So here's what we could do. We can set the values of these things earlier. Right? We're going to say const defin is get inferred type const, and stashed best is status best argument list. So because this assertion supposedly stayed, so we're going to go here and say and array asked expression stash best. Now, what I actually suspect, okay, let's even put it, let's put a copy of even these on status. Because if we yielded and came back later, which is I'm pretty sure what's happening here, then our locals are going to be null anyway. But this will give us that information. But then the version on status should still be good. So all right. All right. All right. Snake debug attached to process. Good thing it makes me do this every damn time. All right. Okay, so well, let's look at status. Best argument list. Const defin and stash best are both 0. That's freaking crazy. I didn't expect that at all. What? What's our local ones? They've got to be also be 0. What? Okay, I don't understand this. I straight up don't understand this. Unless we set these. Oh yeah, no, we set these in the wrong place. Sorry. We have to set these out here. Sorry. Constant. This editor sucks. All right. Sucks. All right. All right, well, that was fast. Let's scroll down to our frickin' thing again. Because, you know, we might want to be trying to debug acrotray.exe. All right. So let's look again. Status. Constant defin lambda argument declarations items 1. Okay. Well, what are our locals? Stashed best, still 1 in our locals. Constant defin. Well, let's look at status best argument list. That's 1. Good. Constant defin lambda argument declarations is 1. Okay, well that means that this thing isn't the same. Resolved inferred type. Not the same as constant defin. 2. Constant defin type of lambda. Line 93 of render target. I don't think that's the one we meant to call. Freeing a depth target or a color target, that is not the one that we wanted to call, and in fact shouldn't actually have ever matched. Because this should have been a type mismatch. So why'd we say it wasn't? Maybe we were trying to yield because these weren't ready and we didn't detect the yield correctly. I don't know. Okay, whereas I assume this is the right one, right? Resolved. It's got the right number of arguments. Line 106 of basic, yeah. Okay. We are falsely signaling a match on an overload that we should not. It's a different problem than the earlier one. Man, if only I'd just never cleaned this up, we wouldn't have introduced new bugs. So like maybe we're failing without setting yield? I don't know. I kind of want this to happen with a no jobs randomize. Let's see if we can make that happen, because that would be great if we could do that. because then we can use the serial numbers for breakpoints and stuff. 190, didn't do it. Let's just Control C it. Okay, that's a different one. Let's save that one, because that's not what we're trying to debug right now, but we have to get that one too. Seed 470, fucking Emacs, Jesus. I accidentally pasted the lambda and Emacs was like, oh, you might be in Chinese. Let's not let you save because you might be in Chinese. Why are all editors terrible? I don't understand. Oh my God. You can't save the file with that character in it. Okay, what are we even? This has got too many windows open. Right. We were just doing this, and well, that feels like something we should debug, but I don't want to sidetrack from our mission. Our mission is this other thing. If it doesn't pop up with random, see, we should debug that. That was a seed 917. We'll save a couple seeds unless for some reason one of them doesn't work. Okay, this really isn't happening this way. Which is maybe not that big of a surprise because the other thing wasn't either. All right. What if we force a yield? Oh. Actually, we know. Where was this from? I think we can set a good breakpoint without knowing, because there was like 7 possibilities, which is not something that happens. And let's just run loop again. Okay, so because we're allowing threading to happen, we can't do our normal trick of breaking on the serial number because it's going to be different every time. But we could break on the line number, which is often too different. But we can break on the number of overloads as well. We can say whatever's at line whatever with 7 overloads, and that's really not going to match more than one thing, right? So line 43, overload 7. Let's write that down. And then so what's our theory? Our theory is we somehow matched yes on this, but then matched again late. No, that can't be right. Okay, wait. See, I'm confused because this... So, const defen like, I feel like we stomped something else over this after these values happened, but we for some reason didn't rewrite these values, which does not seem possible. But we can save even more things if we want. That's so weird. It's not about yielding. Stashed best. Const defen is different from resolved inferred type. Let's... this is so weird. Let's just say okay. So we're going to make two more variables. It's not about yielding, so I'm scared because it's about something changing. Which might be very bad. It might be very bad indeed. Oh, ask declaration. Sorry. Sorry. We are passing arguments as if they were for one overload of the procedure, but they're actually for a different overload of the procedure. And we're trying to figure out how that could happen. Okay. Matched non-final decal is what? Matched final decal is what? Matches.data0 is what? Decal? It's different. It's different. There's just like a basic logic bug in here. This is going to be one of those things where I look at it later and I'm like, how did this ever work? So we never remove anything from matches. So it only grows. And if we already have an item, stomp it if you compare better. Otherwise, add, which would put us over 2. So we don't run this because that puts us over 2. We run this one the first time, and then we check down here our items again and do these things. and maintain best argument list. Dude, this is so weird. I mean, I really don't get it. Of course, why am I saying matches.items is equal to 1 here? Because it doesn't matter. If we've got more than 1, we're never going to have less than 1 again. So we could set the best list because we only use it if it's 1. So this if statement doesn't contribute to correctness of our program at all. And it's just confusing me right now because I'm like, holy crap, dude. Oh, God. People, here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. A long time ago, I might have even done this on the stream. This is often, when things don't make any sense at all, that is often the problem. Okay, when I originally wrote this code, it was like, we're going to collect as many things as we need in matches, and then we'll do this whittle down, where we try to get them down to 1. Okay? But then later I changed it and said, I want to maintain the best argument list. I don't remember the exact reasoning, but I was like, I'm going to do this thing where we only ever keep 1. All right? And if we ever get more than 1, that's going to be an error. Well, we're collecting more than 1, and then we're whittling later. Because I didn't take out the whittle. I was supposed to take this out way back when I made this change. And like, this would be gone, and it's just this. And don't I have a big comment up here? Yeah, this whole comment, yeah, see? So like, the reason I'm so confused is what I just said. Okay, so this is not right. What is going on? Shift tab is supposed to extent lines, but on this line, no. What? Dude. The people who make these editors are a word you can't say anymore because it hurts people's feelings. Okay. I don't know why I'm trying to edit in Visual Studio. It doesn't make any sense. It's just because it's there. All right. So there's that. That's good because it makes this routine simpler. And now this also means we're going to have to work on the overload rules. Because what's going to happen is we're going to match 2 guys. We're going to match at least two, the one with the optional arguments and the other one. And, okay. This is, we're going to have to comment out our early snake get worm and all this, but eventually we might. So my prediction is this now just won't compile because it'll have multiple overloads. Yeah. Oh God, we've got a number of multiple overloads. Except so that means this isn't right though, because oh, I'm adding if overload is greater than 0. You only want to add if it's equal. If it's greater, then then you discard it because it's not as good as the match that you already have. Dude, this is like, I was definitely, when I wrote this, a word that you can't say anymore because it hurts people's feelings. Why are we early snake get worming? What? I don't want early snake get worm now. What? Don't do that. Hold on. I think I really messed something up. Really? Really? Okay. This is not quite right still. I don't think this is going to fix the problem. Emacs deleted half my file. Thank you. So if it's 0, just frickin' put it there, right? That's how that should have been. Otherwise, we compare. If it's better, we replace it. If it's equal, we add it. That makes sense to me. Let's just comment out all this stuff for now because it's a bunch of confusing things that might be a little bit wrong. But we're snaking on the other thing, which is okay, procedure call matches multiple possible overloads, which it does. Why are we snaking? What is with the snaking? That shouldn't be happening anymore. Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of these things. And these things. Dude, when we check in, we're going to have all sorts of stuff to make sure we delete. If you find a better match, wouldn't you need to clear the array and keep only that one? You are correct. You are correct. This code was so wrong that it's not even funny. There are 11 time zones in this code. Yes, if it's better, thank you. I would have spent like another hour figuring this out. Dude, sometimes you just do something simple and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Why does delete Emacs delete half the file? Well, as nearly as I can tell, so Windows has a notify me when this file changed API, but it's really annoying and stupid because it doesn't interact that well with file flushing. So somebody can be writing out a file, like Visual Studio, because I changed it a little bit, and it's like flushing, but it's the first flush of several, and then the message goes out, and Emacs reads the file before it's done being written. We have to safeguard against that in our game when we hot load. But we actually test our game, so we do that. Emacs doesn't test their code because they don't care about anyone. So it used to work fine in Emacs, and then in recent versions, they just broke it. Now, the weird thing to me is it knows the file is gone. It knows because it marks it as modified. So it knows that it deleted half the file. So I'm not really sure that's the problem. Because if you just read a file early, wouldn't you just have a short file? I don't know what the hell this editor's problem is. I so want to get off it. It's so bad. Oh my God. All right. All right, snake. We're still snaking, dude. I don't understand why we're snaking. Maybe it's for a totally different reason at this point. Under what condition do we snake? Wait, that's the typer snake. Well, I mean, that's... Let's see. Let's see why we're snaking. We're doing it 100% of the time, so I must have really screwed something up now. We're getting closer to correct. Okay. Well, we've got to get rid of this, by the way, because we're not using this, and it's just confusing every time I look. Best argument list. Status arrow that. 1. Resolved, inferred, type, lambda argument declarations. 2. It's like the same place. So it's still kind of wrong. Like we're getting a different answer based on what order we visit these in, I think is what's happening. So this like still isn't right. If we have 0 matches, add it. Else, compare. Maybe this compare is like wrong. Like maybe the sign is wrong. I don't freaking know. I think this should be right, but who knows? Match is 1. But like, what? Dude, I'm dumb. This should not... Remember when I said do this if matches is equal to 1? Yeah, that's so far not the right thing at this point. We're just gonna put it in here for avoidance of doubt. Okay. Now we're going to stop snaking. You know, sometimes people ask me, how do you get into the game industry, right? How do you really succeed. And I say the answer is don't snake. But sometimes even I am not able to avoid snaking apparently. So maybe I just have to quit. Maybe my life is sad. I try to demonstrate the perils of being in the games industry badly. Okay, no, we forgot this one. Right? Try to demonstrate that even experienced people make mistakes and end up snaking sometimes, but it's not unrecoverable, right? Even if you can snake 10 times, the 11th time maybe you will stop snaking and things will be good, right? Right? Do you know what I'm saying? So that was totally messed up. That was like, how did anything ever compile? Given the amount of messed up that those things were. Holy cow. But this is good because we did simplify some things. It's good. It's good. We also kind of made a mess, but we're cleaning up the mess. We are cleaning up the mess. Wow, that code was so wrong, dude. It was so wrong. Okay. You know, I was thinking of just, instead of putting this on best argument list, just putting it in the match, in the overload. I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe not. That's sort of why I had this here, so that we could put it there, but we're declining to put it there for now. We could put it there if we want later. Whoops, not that one. Leave that one. Overload info. Where does overload info live? I want to look at that. Fucking, they try to do all this stuff, and it's just useless because it doesn't actually do what you want it to do ever. All right, well, not ever, but not consistently enough to be able to use it. All right. We just want to get rid of this, right? Would instructions for manual cache handling be a good thing, or is a hands-off approach better? Well, I feel like there was an era when people were doing instructions for manual cache handling, and there was a short window during which that was a very profitable thing to do. But these days, you don't really know what the CPU is doing with memory. So it's probably really hard for you to do manual cache instructions unless, so on game consoles, you definitely have that, right? On game consoles, you talk over different buses, and the different buses have different caching properties, right? So on that kind of a machine, it makes sense. But on this kind of a machine where you don't really have that kind of structure, I don't think it necessarily makes sense. All right, so the scorecard is, we set out to fix that file name Heisenbug. It wasn't even happening in the debug build, so who knows what's going on there. We ended up running into this other thing. We turned it into snaking. And then we fixed it finally after a great deal of turmoil. So we're going to check that in. I just want to make sure that I didn't leave a sleep in, like this one. We'll drop back to the assert there. Get rid of this one. Don't check these in. If you want Emacs to auto-update buffers, it does auto-update buffers. That's what I'm saying. It auto-updates them. It just screws up sometimes and doesn't load the whole file. And then I have to manually revisit anyway. That's what's happening. And it used to work, but because civilization is slowly collapsing, it doesn't work anymore. What is George doing these days? Does he stream? What's he up to? Not George Broussard. Well, I know what George Broussard is up to. Dude was born the year I graduated from high school. Doing mathy stuff. Cool. The pig farm guy. No, not the pig farm guy. At least, well, I don't know. Maybe he does some pig farm things. I wouldn't know. I'm running out of watermelon sparkling water. What were those warnings? No, those are, yeah, that's CC. That's the thing that we don't know how to deal with. Okay, so we're going to check this in. Oh, dude, we're running the debug component. That's why that took so long. Because I frickin' changed run tests. Let's revert that because we don't want to check that in. Let's run the release tests. Revert. Revert. I was like, why is this taking so long? All right. Okay, so now that we get the Heisenbug, so I think it only happens in release. So we might have to do a release with symbols build. Oh my God, it's happening. It happened at Blobman twice. But before we even go do that one, I think we got to go do this other one that's easier to repro and debug build that we saw. Dude, look at how often this is happening now. It's taunting me. It's what we set out to debug, and it's still there. Do a squat every time the build breaks. Okay. Okay, let's revert the project modification. Oh, no, okay. Let's not revert that, that's fine. Let's check that in first. Let's not have debug run in a different FP model than release. Okay. Fix another bug in the overloading code. It was so broken, I can't believe it. Okay. Now, we gotta do this frickin' thing. Let's rebuild the debug compiler with the overloading fixes. Dash seed 475. Okay, great. We have to figure out why these identifiers are undeclared. That's weird. Like, those aren't even things that get added later. They're just... Right? Where are those declared? This program would be so much better if it would save the frickin' things. Since Windows force reboots on you all the time, like every program just has to... No. Every program just has to autosave everything so that it can pop up. Because Windows no longer stays running. What are we called? File current. It's in our windows. Oh. What? I click on this and it just does a thing. A totally useless thing. Okay, it's inside of using. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe the using fails to complete, but then I would think that we would fail to compile and note why, but maybe that's what's broken. Well, we have a very reproducible way to do this, right? So that's good. Starting to feel like bedtime, but we want to at least get some preliminary investigations in on this one. Maybe we have to finish it in the morning. Whoa. Undeclared identifier. Okay. This is a much more sane thing to debug than the one that we just frickin' debugged. This one, much easier. Collapse the wave function and travel to the universe where the bug doesn't occur. Dude, if I could do that, you would have a fully released compiler at this point. You don't understand that syntax for using. So what's going on is just, you can put using before a declaration. You can say using and then an identifier, but you can also say using and then a declaration. So for example, that's what we do in parameter lists or whatever. This is just a declaration. Like, this thing is an enum with these members, right? If you say using on that, then you say, hey, do that declaration, but then just use this. It's the same, okay. So this is the same as saying the following thing, right? It's just shorthand for that. And again, of course, all of this may change in the final language. But that is how it is. That is the explanation for what you see. So either the using is failing to issue, or it is issuing. See, it's not a threaded problem because it's happening with no jobs. So we're literally like just not doing something. Let's see. What we can do, we can look for a using that happens at line 2612. This is probably the only one in the entire program. There aren't that many line 2612s in this program. So we can look for that. And then we can just see what happens. I have to refresh my memory on how these get performed as well. So I think we have this declaration marked as using flag that goes on in cases like this. And then we go maybe do using insertion. Yeah. So we're going to first go into parser and look for this what is this case? Okay, that's just a little redundant. If it's a structure enum. Oh, bare structure enum. Okay, we're not doing that. So we're going to set a breakpoint. I don't know if it's this first one or the second one. We can do, but well, yeah. We'll try each one in turn. So line 2612. So we're going to say token L0 is 2612. And we'll run. Nope, it wasn't that one. So it must be this one, I hope. L0 is equal to 2612. Right? And then as soon as we do this successfully, we'll have the serial, which is a much more robust way. Yeah, okay. So this declaration is this serial number, which should be persistent across runs. So I'm writing that down just in case, but we could paste it here so that we remember it. So we can set a breakpoint anywhere on that now. But let's make sure that's the same. Make sure we got the compile options right. Yeah, same number. Great. Great. Now what? Well, do insertions for using. Conditions. Importer arrow s is this. Go. Okay, we're trying it. Oh God. Do we have a Control M in the file? Yep. Recompile. I don't put the Control M's in there. One of these editors is saving them. I don't know which one, but it messes up Visual Studio every time. Every time. Does snake work? Yes. We snaked. We snaked until we couldn't snake anymore. We're on to the other bug that we saw while we were trying to run the snake test. And we saw this undeclared identifier situation. Okay. So we're here. Okay. Well, it looks like this is going to go. Okay. So then these identifiers should get exported. So these are going to get exported from this using, and then they'll get exported again to like frickin' global scope. We have to check that that works correctly. And then, I don't know, like, why are we not finding them? So at least, okay, I'm happy that at least the using is going. All right. Okay, so we do a single insertion. And this is just, what is this? Target scope. Yeah, this is like to make the import link also into the top level thing. And I believe that we will do that as well. Yes. Application scope. So these symbols are going into application scope and like they're going into application scope, bro. So now this is the second one, right? This should be one of the ones that we're not finding. File current, isn't that the one? File current. Well, I guess file begin is probably, yeah. So like these are getting inserted. And we can't find them. Okay. So, okay, well, okay, so debug, we're going to set to true, and we're going to find out why this identifier doesn't infer. Or if it does infer, then we're really, I don't know, that's definitely a clue. but we're a little bit sad. Okay. Identifier. Declaration. We don't have a resolved declaration. Let's resolve it. Did we resolve it? No, really? Is my hash table just broken? Like what? Maybe a hash table resize happens and we drop these on the floor. I don't know. Oh, we're sleeping. What? Wait. Oh, we're sleeping just because we didn't find it. That's fine. Okay. Here. And we're not going to find it here. Run to cursor. Run to cursor. Constants block, run to cursor. Data declarations, run to cursor. Okay. Well, large. So is this application scope? I don't think so. Nope. Oh, maybe it is. Yes, this is application scope. The parent is preload scope. Yeah, these are the same. Okay. So this is where we should find it. And we're going to not find it in the hash table. Okay. There's not really a way to unbind names. So we're screwing up somehow. What is our hash here? OXCF99CF4. Let's see if that's the hash that we're adding it with, right? Let's put this in a better place. Let's put it down here. Okay. So now we can go straight to there. Actually, we could. Wow, this is fine. So this won't yet be the application scope. This is the Windows modules scope. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, that's the file scope. That's the file scope. This is the export scope of the module. Dude, we have so many import links all over the land. This is the application scope one. Okay. Just checked out a new non-Euclidean game engine on YouTube. Was really cool. Okay. Well, we're adding it to the scope. Scope is probably application scope. Yep. I guess we still add it to the linear list no matter what. If it's a large lookup, what is the hash? Dude, the hash is different. Oh wait, this is for begin, right? OX B32C52E. Begin was not the first one we were reporting. We were reporting current first. So let's come on back here. Decal identifier, still file begin. That's the hash for begin. We want to see current. Here we go. CF99CF4. Okay. That is the right one. So my suspicion is that we do a table resize and that has a bug in it. Because if that's not the issue, I don't really know what it'll be. Let's see. So when we do table add, we maybe resize. We won't this time probably. But let's see. What is this? This F1DO, Fido. Let's see if Fido resizes ever. Different guy. Different guy. Different guy. I should have just... I could set a conditional breakpoint. Interp application scope large lookup table. Wait, what? Oh, right. Okay. So actually, so when I put the breakpoint in that hash lookup, we weren't adding that identifier to application scope yet. Oh, we have this up here. Member 0, what? Whoa, what? I thought we were adding stuff to application scope. Oh, this is a different workspace, probably. Probably. Interp workspace handle 2. No, 2 should be the main program. 2 should have a big ass application scope. I don't know, man. Workspace handle. It's 2. Application scope. Large lookup table. Okay. So see, what I was confused by was members shouldn't have been null. We got to go back to that point where we're adding the thing. This is suspicious. Suspicious and delicious. Wait, applications. This is workspace 1. This is workspace 1, not workspace 2. So our meta program is also, remember how I said there's not that many people who are doing this? Our meta program is also including Windows. So there's 2 people who are doing this. And I picked the wrong one. Remember when I said this serial number will be constant and we don't have to worry about it? Well, that's all true if you frickin' are not dumb. Okay. Let's try the other one. Okay. We need the one in workspace 2. There's a problem. The compiler is powerful enough that we just can own. Typer interp workspace handle 1. Okay, we never do that using in workspace 2. That is the problem. I've been wild goose chasing for like 20 minutes. Let's go back to the parser. Let's go back to the parser. Remember this? It L0 is equal to this. Okay. Workspace handle 1. Disable. Workspace handle 2. But then this declaration never fires for some reason. But at least we'll get the correct serial. 2. Oh, by the way, in this hex format for the serial, this is the workspace number. My brain should have said, wait, that's 1. That means metaprogram. But no, I didn't think of it. So 2. I guess I don't ever work on, what is this Snake or is it? It's Snake. I never work on Snake, so I wasn't exactly clear that there's a metaprogram, even though I see that we're running that. But whatever. So we were looking at the one that we don't want to look for. We want 20001C922. And that one, let's just even see where that guy is. So this is going to be this. We're just going to cast that. Ask declaration star. Oh no, it's illegal to cast an integer in modern C++ to a pointer. You don't even know that that integer is anything. You could delete the space probe going to Ultima Thule by casting a number to a pointer. But we're doing that. All right. All right. So we are here. We got our thing. I'm just going to go all the way till, so this declaration right now, of course, it's not even queued. It will be, I think. Let's just go till we hit the error. Okay, so this declaration, it is queued. It claims that it went all the way to the end. Okay, well, maybe it somehow skipped this. Let's see. Conditions, importer S is equal to that. I don't think we're going to hit this because we didn't hit the line number 1. So I don't think we're going to hit this one. Nope. Oh, I should have got the memory location again. We could see if the flag went away. I should change this to an S breakpoint. What is it? If only I could turn off ASLR. I wouldn't have to do this. Okay, so it's declaration flags 2110. We don't know which one. Declaration is marked as using is the 1. Wait, what? Oh, we're setting it right now. Ha, ha, don't look at it too soon. Declaration flags 3910. All right, so we're going all the way to the error. This thing, declaration flags 3910 with a 4 on top. I don't remember what the 4 is, but we're marked as using, and we somehow skipped it. So, well, let's see what the 4 is. Well, that might be a clue. It's been exported. Okay, that just means we told the meta program that this exists. So somehow we passed through into the end, right? Like, we're in output C. We don't actually output C. This just means back end. At some point, we're going to rename that. So we passed through to the end without calling do insertions for using, which doesn't seem good. Okay, so that happens here. Maybe do using insertion. Maybe do using insertion. And that happens from infer types for an expression. And that's not going to be this one. That's commented out. This one, we pretty much have to go through here. This is the main infer, right? So if I look at this, this probably has a typeset. Oh, it's in here. Infer type, yes. It is highly likely that that type is set in this routine. So we're going to say s is equal to the... No, that's the pointer. That's the pointer. There we go. Okay, let's put this, since we know who we're looking for, we'll change that, but we're going to disable it anyway. Okay. Well, remember when I said it was highly likely it got assigned there? That's apparently not how it worked. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go again. And we're going to break in the beginning. And we're going to set a data breakpoint on this guy's type. And we're going to say, who the hell sets this? If somebody sets that early, then it makes sense that you never call infer types on it. And it makes sense that you never try to do the using on it. So I feel like there's some other shortcut somewhere that's firing. Okay. So it inferred type should be null. And we'll take the address of that. And we'll go new data breakpoint OX81556EO. And when does that go off? There we go. So even though this is highlit, it's this one probably. Although you can't tell because it's frickin' Visual Studio idiocy. An identifier is poking it. Enum is queued, but the declaration binding its name is not. Okay. This is real bad. This is a dumb solution for now, but like I always say, you can't work on every problem at once. And we have no shortage of problems to work on. But this is sort of, you know, we put in this hack to solve a certain problem because we didn't want to figure out something hard. And now it made a problem for us later. This was like probably an hour of debug time, right? I don't know how long it's been. I'm not timing it, but it's what happened. The more of that you have, the more it could pile up. Okay, well, now it's even worse. Now we're crashing. But that's probably... yeah. I think if we get down here, we assume that we have a type. Yeah, because we dereference the type here. Don't do that. Right. Hey. So that wasn't great though, because we didn't really fix a bug. We just made this. This is still wrong to do this skip. It is still wrong to do this skip, even in the case it's where it's intended to fire, because you just can't skip all the stuff in infer types decal like that. So this really needs to get improved. Okay, this one, we can add this to the to-do list next to something else. In general, there's a category of things we need to figure out. Where was the brackets? We have something about braces here. Also, so these are both like local scope dependency issues. There's weird stuff. So in data scopes in this language, the order in which things are don't matter. But in imperative scopes, they obviously do if they're statements, but then they don't necessarily if they're constant declarations. So then we kind of need to have a way of dealing with constant declarations in an order independent way in imperative scopes, but they're like not really set up for that. So once in a while we run into problems. So we just need to get a lot more robust about that. And these are both imperative scope order robustness issues. So that's something that I want to sleep on and fix correctly. But yeah, that's going to be a main project soon, I think, because we just can't let that stand any further. We got to make the decision. We're starting to pay for our lack of wanting to make that decision. So it's time to do it. All right. We did snake action. We did this. Let's see if we didn't break something. This could be causing all kinds of problems, dude. We have to change that soon. It's really not okay. You just can't do that. Just can't do that. I mean, maybe at the time when I did it originally, you could do it, but you can't do it now. It's not how the compiler works, buddy. Bucko pal, buddy o' mine. All right. Ah, I drowned. Obviously, the compiler's broken. I drowned. Okay. I didn't win the game. Okay. Fix usables not always firing properly. Bam. Okay. Let's do this co-initialize thing because that's been on the list for a little bit, and it's late at night, so we're keeping ourselves to simple things. Windows Foundation initialize. God, why did they make such a mess? Windows runtime. So bad. Okay. Co-init enumeration. Apartment threaded. What is apartment threaded? By requiring that calls to methods of objects created by the thread always run on the same thread, the apartment thread that created them. Why do they have to call them apartments? Why are you adding new things? Okay. I don't understand why this would call us to crash at startup. It calls us to crash at startup by not calling it. I don't want to learn about apartments today. I don't want to know anything about that. I guess we'll call this. I feel like for reasons of safety, this would have to call co-initialize X anyway. But let's see. This has to be the default because this is like the maximally safe thing. Who knows? I don't think that's going to change anything at all. But it's off our list now. Okay. That's it for tonight, I think. We made good progress. We did not, as far as I know, successfully hunt the ravenous Heisenbug, but we got 2 other relatively major bugs. We have further understanding of issues. We have things that we have to attack for robustness reasons. Yeah. So I feel like this has to happen soon. Like maybe tomorrow. Like we have to answer that. It has to work, and we have to do it without slowing down the compiler by any amount. I think I know how to do it. I'm worried about performance impacts. Oh no. Oh no. It's not obvious. It's not obvious. You could set up a pathological case that will break the solution I am thinking of. And then you got problems. Well, we're going to have to think about this. Calling co-initialize null would give you STA, which would require a Windows message pump, which you don't think I have. I see. So then maybe under some cases, if a bunch of messages happen to get sent and we don't read them, then we would hang because we're not reading the messages, but Windows is insisting we read them. That would make sense, I guess. I don't know that much about Windows Message Loop, but that sounds plausible. Thank you for that, because I probably wouldn't have figured that out for a long time. Happy Thursday. I might stream tomorrow. We'll see. This is one of these things where it's like, I kind of want to think about it just in a quiet space, not on stream, what the right answer is. Because this is one of the things that's been bugging me a long time, but it's a good sign that we're kind of getting down to big, or not big even, but like core issues like this again. Because there's not that many more of those, let's put it that way. There's not that many more like fundamental decisions that have to be made. I don't know. I say that now. There's at least actually another one or two more besides this. But let's just get this one. It'll be good. Do your part. Dude, PETA is going to be mad at Paul Verhoeven. Does PETA care about bugs? I don't actually know. Would there ever be a physical release for The Witness? We tried to do one, and the publisher we were going to work with made me not like them, so we didn't do it. Why do you not get movies like Starship Troopers anymore? Well, you had the opportunity when they did the RoboCop remake. That was the perfect opportunity to make an actual good RoboCop remake, and they didn't do it. Although from what I heard, the RoboCop 2 that's coming out is actually supposed to be good. We'll see. RoboCop Returns will be a direct sequel to the original movie. Because the new one was stupid. See if I can find any other news on this. No, just all these announcements from June. He wants Peter Weller for RoboCop Returns. Dude, I am down with that. That would be rad, dude. All right. All right. Should remake Scanners. Oh, dude, they're going to start remaking everything. They're going to remake Scanners and Phantasm. They're going to remake Zardoz. Why don't they remake Zardoz? That would be so good. Why do I not have the game development tag anymore? It just disappeared from my stream. All right. Game development. Oh, you can't search everywhere for game development? Just science and tech? That's so lame, dude. That's fucking... Dude, Twitter or Twitch, whatever place this is. Building custom game engine with Pygame. Lurk Zone. Elixir. Is that a functional language, isn't it? Roman numerals. No, we're not going to host Roman numerals. We can't do that. No Roman numerals. PowerShell module maintenance. Studying. Okay. What is this custom game engine for ASCII?
It'll list. Oh no, nobody's broken. Oh yeah.
All right. If you guys can do Pygame, we're going to do that. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. And I'll see you all later. Or you can go to the weed farm with the free giveaways if you prefer that. See ya all in the future.